Hello, welcome to Good Work Network. My name is Stacy Williams, and I'm the Director of Partnerships and Program Development. We appreciate you spending time with us today. Good Work Network assists entrepreneurs with starting and growing their businesses. We're honored and proud to state that we have been doing this work for 19 years. Yes, 19 years. There are many entrepreneurs in the New Orleans and Baton Rouge markets that have benefited from our work. If you're interested in working with us, please visit our website at goodworknetwork.org. Our facilitator today is Demetria Burris. Demetria is an innovator and multi-passionate entrepreneur with over 10 years of finance, accounting, and leadership experience. Demetria is proficient in all aspects of business formation, internal controls, business, finances, and business management. Demetria is also a certified QuickBooks Pro Advisor, Microsoft Office Specialist, and Louisiana Notary Public with statewide jurisdiction. Thank you, Demetria, for joining us today. You may begin.
Thank you, Stacy, for having me. So thank you guys for tuning in. I am Demetria, as Stacy mentioned. I am so happy to be here with you guys. I am a notary public here in the state of Louisiana. I am also a rock star mom to my #1 client, my son Everett, and a self-proclaimed crawfish connoisseur. So that's what I do in my free time. I am always eating crawfish. With that being said, this is tech tips and tools to transition your business online. So if you're in the business of selling a product or service and needing to transition from having a storefront to now being able to serve customers online, or if you're in the business of trying to make or start a business because you've maybe lost your job, or you are being laid off or furloughed and need to find a way to continue to bring in money into your home to take care of those essential needs for you and your family, this is the training for you. So what we'll start and talk through is our presentation breakdown, are my 5 Bs that every business owner needs to go through in starting out and starting their business, or pivoting and restructuring or transitioning their business online. So the first thing is, the first B that we'll discuss is branding. We'll talk about 2 particular softwares that I think every startup should use, or at least consider when trying to start their new business, which is going to be Canva and Wix. We're also going to talk about business structure, the different type of legal entities that are available for you, how to structure that, and where to go and register your business so that it is legal in the state of Louisiana. We'll also go through some back office systems and softwares that you can use to really help structure and streamline your activities. In particular, we'll be using QuickBooks Online and G Suite. Fourth, we'll be looking at backup, and that is data backup and data security. And then the big bonus, or some bonus apps and add-ons that you can use to really boost your business to the next level. So our first B is branding. And the way that I like to define a brand is, that's the personality of your business, your promise to customers. So what are they saying about you? If I were in the business of selling, say, lemons, or even making lemonade, what would my brand encompass? Is it just this? Is it just lemons? Is it just me? And feel free again to put things in the comments. These are a lot of, you'll hear me ask a lot of rhetorical questions, but you can also engage with me to make this a little bit more interactive, where you put comments out there, and Miss Stacy will be reading or feeding those things to me, because I cannot see them while I'm presenting to you. So I think that while what you may see is a lemon, my brand would be a lot more than that. What am I getting out of it? That's the squeeze, or that's how I like to, the squeeze effect is what I like to call it. What is the residual piece? What do people, like, what's the added value? And how am I maximizing the products and services that I have to give people the most bang for the buck, for their buck? I want to give them value, to be a value added provider in their particular life for whatever services that I'm giving them. I want them to feel a certain way. How does my brand make them feel? What comes to mind when they think about me? And what comes to mind when they see my particular logo or imagery or anything that I put out there associated with it. So I like to think about that in ways of when I'm telling you about a brand, you want to develop a juicy story. The biggest thing that I think that business owners need to learn or have to know how to do is to story sell, not just story tell. So that's what encompasses a brand or makes a brand something that's memorable and remarkable, is that the story is something that I identify with. The story is something that demographic or target audience that you're going after, that you want to buy into your product, knows exactly what your product is and what they take away from it. So two things. Before you get started, the first thing you want to do is develop or create your business name. Secondly, you want to find that business name on and purchase it on a domain website, and we'll go through each of these in just a moment. Then you want to choose a hosting plan such as Wix, in order to, which is one of the softwares that we'll discuss in just a moment. Choose a template in order to build out that website and then publish it for everyone to be able to see. So for the purpose of this presentation, I have created a pseudo fake company. It's not really, does not really do this thing, but for the purpose of this, I've branded or created Excuse Me Juice Delivery Company for New Orleans, Louisiana. And my juicy story is that we develop and we sell fresh lemonade and fresh juices made with lemons, to where we're getting, it's organic, it's fresh, they're homegrown, and we actually deliver it and ship those things to you. And we use organic bottling or what have you that is safe. So no plastic, glass, things of that nature. So if that's what I wanted to do, I created this particular logo and came up with this using Canva. So I'll show you just how easy it is in just a moment. So before we get started, we are going to do a couple of different things. First and foremost, we are going to go and type in Louisiana Small Business Search. So the name that I came up with was Excuse Me. The first thing that I want to do is, if I like that name, I want to make sure that before I put time and energy and thought into building out this brand, is it actually available for me to legalize in our state? Oops. Sorry, guys, give me just a second. So I'm gonna look up Excuse Me. And so it says 0 results, which means that that name is available for me to go ahead and start my business. I'm also going to look and see on, I like to search using Google domains. So I would do a simple search here, and I'm going to type in Excuse Me, and I'm going to use 2020 because that's the year that we're established. So in this case, it is available, and I'm like, okay, I'm good to go. I can do create my website because excuseme.com is available. More generic terms like just squeeze or lemonade or things of that nature would probably not be available. They've probably already been taken So you want to double check both resources, so some type of domain search and the state of Louisiana, to make sure that whatever it is that you are trying to incorporate as your business name is actually available for you to do so. So once you've done that, the second thing that you can do, I'll go back to the slide, is to really start building out your website and your brand. The first two things you can do is, I'll start off with Canva. Canva is a graphic design online website, which means that you don't have to download software in order to create your brand, to see what, to make different designs. So whether that's brochures, logos, you name it, you can do that very quickly. We're using this software. So I'm going to say, for purposes of this, I've already kind of pre-created a logo, but I'm going to just show y'all how quick you can do that. So in this case, I want to go create a logo. I type in that type of template, and then all these things kind of like pop up. And then I may say start from scratch, a blank one. I know that I'm doing something with lemon, so I'm going to type in lemon and see what comes up. In this case, lemon bites was the first thing that popped. And then all you have to do is come over and change, click on things, and it's literally, you can change the colors to whatever you'd like to make them stick to your particular, to create a brand that works for you. And then I'm also gonna just do something here. I'm gonna change it to and literally everything in here is just drag and drop. And then green. And I probably want to bold it. So really simple. I've already created now my logo. I can come in and add more photos or a different picture of a lemon if I so chose to, but very simple. And then it's as easy as you just download, click on it, and boom, you're ready to go with your particular logo. Once I have a logo in place, the next thing that I would do is go over and start building out my website. And I like to use Wix for people who are maybe just starting off. Wix is a very DIY, easy to use website. They're really simple. Even if you say like how to get started, there's videos, content to help you get started in that particular, with building a site here. So I'm just gonna show y'all just how quick it is. I've already pre-created a Google account for Excuse Me. So I'm just gonna go to that. You click in, as long as you're already signed in to that email address. It's that easy. You've already created a web an account, and now you're able to just follow the prompts to create and build out a website. And super easy, super simple. Just know that whenever you're choosing a website, you're also going to need to create hosting. Wix allows you to, at least when you're first starting off, it's completely free. But the more traffic, the more features and things that you want to add and incorporate into your business, then obviously you're going to have to move up to different premium plans that are going to charge you on a monthly basis. So for those of you who don't really want to do the website build out for yourself, I want to pick up the ground, like I want to pick up and start moving really quickly. I know what I want, I just don't want to do it. I personally like WordPress. I use Bluehost in my own business to host my websites, and I use Weebly as well for when I'm helping other people to build out their websites and doing lead generation and more advanced things. So what that kind of looks like is, I'll show y'all one of my personal websites, Go Mobile Notary. This whole site was built out using imagery outside of Canva. It is hosted through Bluehost, and I actually use WordPress, not necessarily Wix, but it is a more difficult build out. However, the templates are still there. I still would, I stand by these things because it's with Bluehost or other hosting softwares outside of Wix, you pay yearly fees instead of the monthly premiums. While there's a bigger charge on the front end, I end up saving more money on the back end because with my Bluehost, I'm able to host as many websites as I would like to, all without having to pay extra money. The other nice thing is that as you become more advanced and you're starting to learn more tricks and tips and tools and learning other softwares that help you to do backlinking and lead generation, you want to get to a place, and I would say not you do this yourself, probably you want to outsource this to another professional. But I do want to show you that if you open a guest window, let's see, let me do guest. What that should look like is once you get to a place where you have enough traffic coming onto your website, enough keywords where you have tuned and honed into what your target audience looks like, where they're located, what they're searching for when looking for that, you should start what we call ranking on websites. So in this particular thing, I'm just going to show you really quickly. For my notary company, for instance, if I type in Mobile Notary Baton Rouge, you'll see that for us, we pop up #1 in our particular area, and our site is here at #1. That's called SEO. And that's search engine optimization. That's the second phase after you have a website up and running. You can do these things with Wix. I want you to just know that it is a more complex, and it's a complex procedure, and it's something that has to happen over time. Google likes to kind of parse through the content on your website, and that's why the imagery and creating things that your target market actually identifies with is really good. So I'll go back to Canva, the original thing that one of our tools that I use a lot. I would tell you guys that all of these things with Go Mobile Notary, with DreamBoost, with the other companies that I have worked with, we 100% make them right here in Canva. They're not outsourced. Very simple. This logo was built inside of Canva. I didn't pay anybody to do it. These are just things that you're just layering and taking imagery and finding fonts that you think resonate with your particular brand. So we'll move on to our next B. After we have our branding and logo and name clearly defined, let's see. We will then go into actually getting our business legalized. The way that we would want to do that is we have to choose whether or not we want to be a sole proprietor, an LLC, a C Corp, or an S Corp. Those are the most popular. However, there are other ones that other options that people can choose. They're just not as popular or familiar. This business entity comparison, first, I want to just kind of put a disclaimer out there and say that I'm not a CPA, nor am I an attorney. So take this information with a grain of salt. I use these things on my own, and I think someone may have asked the question whether or not Canva is a free software. It is free. There's some premium pictures that if you want access to that, there's a monthly subscription to those, which I think is $12 a month. But towards the end of the presentation, I'll go back and show you guys on their screen how much Canva costs and the different subscription levels. For me, right away, it was an easy decision to go straight into purchasing it, purchasing a paid subscription because I use it so much. For this business entity comparison, most businesses are going to be here in this LLC bracket. We will share the PowerPoint with you guys. Just know that, again, take this information and do your own research. The benefits of which type of business entity you would choose is going to depend greatly on how big you're going to grow your company, how fast you're going to get there. Know that the kind of key things that you want to know. For a sole proprietor, many people are seeing the disadvantage of being a sole proprietor now that, for instance, with the PPP loans that have come out, they're unable to qualify for them and whatnot because you're not a registered entity. Now, those are for people who are just kind of fly-by-night companies who have not registered. You're automatically classified as a sole proprietor and you're using your social security number to file your business taxes. As an LLC, this is for, you can do that as a single owner or have multiple owners that do it. That's the legal umbrella if you register your business with the Secretary of State's office. Automatically, from a taxing perspective, you would be classified as a sole proprietor if you're a single member LLC, unless you specifically elect to become an S Corp or C Corporation. So let me repeat that again. If you register as an LLC with the Louisiana Secretary of State and you go get your EIN through the IRS and you don't necessarily specify that you want to be a C Corp or taxed as a C Corp or S Corp, you will be taxed as a sole proprietor. However, as you go through and read through these, some of the information here, there are benefits to being registered as an LLC versus just being a sole proprietor without the legal protections that are afforded to you through that. The main difference between the S Corp and the C Corp is really that the business owners have to pay themselves as an S Corp. Once you designate yourself from a taxing status as an S Corp, you cannot convert back to an LLC. So you're automatically at that point having to pay yourself a reasonable wage. But one of the benefits of that is that you can save about 15% on your taxes by doing so. So I'm going to show you guys really quickly how you would register your business. If we would go to the Go.Biz website. All right, so once we're there, you're gonna just sign in or create an account. And in this case, I'm actually going to do it from let's do it on this one because I already have an account. So as a notary, I for other people, so you're gonna see some other business filings, but let's delete and start over. All right, so the first thing you're gonna see is, what would you like to do? So in this case, you're gonna just say, I'm a Louisiana business just starting up. Even if you already have been in business, still use this particular option. Then you're gonna say, I'm gonna start a new business filing. So these are the type of businesses that you can choose. LLC, like I said, is the most popular. The corporation, if you're going to choose to be an S Corp or C Corp, you would choose this corporation piece. Partnerships and limited liability partnerships, that's really going to be when you see an LLP, the major difference. So if you have a partner in business, the difference here is you'll see this when you see doctors or attorney's office that have more than one managing member, it's to limit the liability of whatever happens if someone sues it to that particular partner's interest, instead of everybody saying that if we get sued, we're all in this kind of together type thing. So in this case, I'm going to use LLC. When you see domestic or foreign, domestic just means that you're in the state of Louisiana. Foreign does not mean that you're an out of state, that you're out of the country. It means that your business or where your primary office location is outside of the state of Louisiana, and now I'm trying to incorporate in the state of Louisiana. So most of you that are online are going to be Louisiana, a Louisiana business owner, so you would choose domestic. And then from there, I am going to say I don't need accounts, any of these accounts, but if you're selling products, you definitely do need a sales tax account. If you're an S Corp or you're going to pay yourself, or you know right away that you have employees, or you've already are an existing business and now you're trying to legalize that business and now convert those independent contractors that may have been working under you to actual employees, you want to use, definitely do a withholding tax account. And if you are a corporation, you have to get this corporate income and franchise account. But for the purposes of this presentation, I'm going to say we don't need any of those. And because I'm not paying myself, I don't have any employees, I'm going to say no. If you do have employees, you would be subject to that and you would need to click yes. So this is where I say that, how are you being taxed? This is where that comes in, to where you'll say I'm a corporation, a partnership, or sole proprietorship. If you're a single member, LLC, you're a sole proprietorship. If you have more than one business owner, you would be a partnership. If you designate yourself as an S Corp, you would choose corporation. In this case, I'm going to say it's a sole proprietorship. And then I'm going to use excuse me. Oh, and you have to put LLC in your name. Or Inc., INC, if you're a corporation. So this page where it says engaging in any lawful activity for which limited liabilities companies may be formed. This in particular is really important, because if you choose other, that means that you're only going to use this business just for this particular service. Because you never know, like in this year when we had coronavirus hit, you may need to pivot, you may need to do something else in your business, and rather than have to incur the fees and the burden of reforming that business, you could just make the business right away something that you say, I'm gonna do whatever, I'm going to just designate it as whatever is legal for me to do. That's what I have the ability to do, although you may personally use this business for only one or two things. The duration of the limited liability company, you can say that I'm only going to be in business for XYZ amount of time, but I always use perpetual. That just means that I'm going to continue to use this. It's going to exist as long as I'm living. And Stacy, if there are any questions that people may have, please let me know. All right, so here, very easy. You're going to just put in your zip code. I'm going to just use my office address. Oh. And then we'll just put So if I copy this address, if I click copy, this is a feature that helps you to like speed along through this so you don't have to keep typing this information over and over. You're literally just gonna do paste if your mailing address is the same, and then we're just gonna go to next. So this is what, when you're going on to LegalZoom, this is what they're charging you all of that money to do when you can come just do it yourself and avoid those particular fees. For this piece, your registered agent. This is very simple. I'm going to throw up the PowerPoint really quick just so y'all can kind of see that. So your registered agent, this is the name for a business or individual that is designated to receive service of process. That means if you're sued, citations, garnishments, petitions, things of that nature, they come to your registered agent. Any type of government correspondences, compliance, or other important documents. So as a business, you have to have a person that's available Monday through Friday during standard business hours to accept those kind of things on your behalf. So if you're a mobile company or a delivery company, unless you have a physical office in which there's a person there to accept those things on your behalf, then you probably would need a registered agent. And that's what this is here. So you would designate that person to do that. So this could be a family member, this could be your mom, but there's also companies, because know that your registered agent accepts these things on your behalf and says that, hey, I'm going to get that information back to the business owner. So it's super duper important, because if you get sued or if you get summoned to appear in court for something, you can't hide behind the blanket of I didn't know or I wasn't served. That's the purpose of having a registered office. So that's something that one of my companies, Go Mobile Notary, that's something that we do for other entities. So if you wanted to choose, say, our company or one of the other tons of ones that are listed, you can come in, search through this box, and choose a person to be your particular registered agent. So for this business, so for this particular business, I'm going to go ahead and just choose, let's see, Go Mobile Notary, and then get the agent info, and it kind of just does that. So from there, it's very simple. After you've done that, everything else just asks you some other questions about your business, and you are pretty much good to go. You're just gonna add in who those business owners, managers, and corporations are. And that's pretty much that. Whenever you've completed that, you're able to, now you'll get some paperwork that says, hey, your business is now registered, and you're able to just really pick things up and start moving. So then we'll shoot on over to our next B. All right. So now we'll talk about QuickBooks Online and G Suite. So with QuickBooks, give me a second. I really love this particular software to manage. I'm just gonna put this over here for you guys. Give me just a second to pull it up. So I'm going to show you a couple different things. Right now, if you go to QuickBooks Online, because of the pandemic that's going on, the price of QuickBooks has really kind of dropped a good bit. So right now you can get the different subscriptions at a hugely discounted price for the first 3 months of services. In addition to doing that, this allows you to really start your business or really start to implement some back office functionality into your business so that you can know that your business is profitable, for one. Number two, you can keep up with payments that are owed to you. And then number three, you can also keep up with the payments that you owe other people, because during this time, as we're trying to establish some footing, you'll want to be able to maybe go after a line of credit to help you purchase more advertising and other expenses, such as maybe a food truck, or maybe it's a particular office building that you need and you don't want to come out of pocket in doing that. However, you also don't want your credit score to fall behind, and you also don't want bad business credit or reporting on your particular business because you're behind on payments. So this is one feature that helps you, or one particular tool that helps you to be able to do that. I am going to share with you guys another like sample company so you can just get a feel for what it looks like. As a QuickBooks Pro advisor, I'm allowed to offer you guys, if you do need it, at the end of the presentation, you'll see our email address. You will not pay me. It's just going to QuickBooks. I can get 50% off of your subscription for 12 months if you choose to implement this software into your business. But really quickly, I won't spend a lot of time here. It's just, this is the first 30 days. If you haven't, if you don't have QuickBooks Online, is free. However, this is something, whether you use QuickBooks or G Suite, which I'm about to go into, these are two different softwares depending on the complexity of your business that allows you to really control and drive your back office to make sure that what you're giving to customers actually matches up with what you're actually receiving, so you can make sure that you're being profitable with the products and services that you're offering. So from there, this is just one way to manage your back office. I'm going to now pull up G Suite, which excuse me, I in particularly love these type of features, excuse me, where once we're here, you obviously, everybody knows that you have your Gmail account. What typically is overlooked is that you can also do Hangout meetings. So the same way that we're using Google, we can now do Teams. So I'm not Google, I'm sorry, Zoom. Zoom says up to 3 people, you can use our stuff for free. But at 3 people, we're going to charge you, and we're going to limit the time of the presentation. This is premium videos, like it says, meetings, and it's free for everybody. So you can have all of your team on a meeting at once, collaborating, sharing screens the same way that we're doing now without having to pay or come out of pocket. The key thing that you need to keep in mind is that you need Google Chrome installed in order to use Google Hangouts Meets. That's number one. And number two, any of the invitees that you're sending the link to also needs to have a Gmail account. But hey, if they don't, creating one is very simple, and a Gmail account is also free. So that's also the other perk or benefit to that. Another thing that I really like is the scheduling feature, which is the Google Calendar. Once you're starting to put things on your calendar, really quickly, if I say we have a meeting, update meeting on tomorrow, I can add conferencing information with the quick click of a button, and that allows you as the business owner to not have to go back, create a Zoom meeting, send out another link. It automatically sends it to whomever I invite. So once I add guests, if I want to just add Go Mobile Notary maybe, very simple. Once they're in, that's it. I can say virtual here so everybody knows to look for the Google Hangout Meets link. I say I send it, and then literally all of my information is already there, and the meeting is there for me to click on. And you can also do it from a cell phone, just as well as your computer, laptop, or iPad. Another feature of Google that I use a lot is Google Documents and Google Sheets. So if you have, say, Word or Microsoft Excel, or outdated versions of it, or you just don't want to pay the money to purchase that, these are alternatives that can be used as a spreadsheet. And what I really, really like is that you can invite other people to collaborate with you on that particular spreadsheet, and you can see those updates in real time. So there is no, oh, I got to save it down, or two people can't be working in it at the same time, which typically happens when you're working on a Microsoft Word document, or even a Google, a Microsoft Excel thing, where you can't have two people kind of working at the same time. So you have to wait till that person is out. They save it down. If you're purchasing or have paid into shared folders, then obviously you may be able to share it. Otherwise, you have to download it, attach it to an email, send it to someone, and then hope that you're working on the latest update of that particular project or document. So this, as in addition to, so this is Google Sheets. It does all the same functionality. There's also some templates. So if you wanted to, if you didn't need, say, like a QuickBooks, you can do timesheets. You can even create invoices within Google. Just takes a second. I don't know if my internet is stalled. So you can also brand it, change colors, putting in your logo that you created in Canva to make it look uniform for whatever it is that you're doing, put in your item description, put in a unit price, and it'll automatically calculate those things for you. I'm gonna also show you guys another one of my favorite particular tools to use within, let me look at time check. Okay. Yeah. So some other things before we go into some other bonus apps, I'm going to flow really fast through. Sorry, wrong. So juicing it up with security. So DropBox, LastPass, and Kaspersky are 3 essential things that you can use. And each one of these have free versions that don't really cost you a lot of money. So from a DropBox perspective, we know that that's cloud storage and document management. We can get those same features if we're here in Google through Google Drive. You're going to get 15 gigabytes of free storage on a free non-paid Google account. If you have or implement a Google business account, that number kind of jumps up a good bit. On the DropBox side, they're going to give you the free trial piece, but if you decide to do it as a business, but also know that if you do it as an individual and you keep your DropBox as a non-paid one, you're going to get so much free data or free space, which is the standard 5 terabytes. Then again, let me go back here. So basically the only thing that you're doing with the Dropbox piece is it's just a way to back up all of your data that you're saving onto your computer. And it is something that I actually implement into my business personally, because if my business or if my desktop in particular computer crashes, I want to be able to access all of my files without having the worry or the freak out moment that, oh my goodness, I've lost everything. So you can implement or integrate those two things into each other. And if you email us at the end, I'll send you a how-to on how to actually integrate Dropbox into your file folder on your computer so that you're getting a backup immediately. Lastly, I'm going to go through LastPass. LastPass is document management for you. It's really free, and if you want the premium service, it is $3 a month. However, I really like this. I know a lot of big companies that even use it to keep your passwords secure and to keep up with all of them, which is a better option than just saving your passwords to your computer browser, and anybody that gets on now has access to it. It's very simple to use. You would just literally come here, create your free account, and it'll prompt you to start pulling in your passwords through your browser extension. And that will bring us into other browser extensions like, so for Google Chrome, that's where I really like, that's our fifth and final B. See Google Chrome, sorry. Extensions. So in the Chrome Web Store, you will see lots and lots of free web applications and apps that you can implement that basically integrate into your Gmail account. So one of my favorite bonus app is Boomerang. So this is for Gmail. So say that you're sending out things to your customers and they are an important thing, a contract that you need them to sign, it gets shuffled or at the bottom of the email and they forget. Rather than sitting there and trying to figure out, going back and forth with, did they get the email or not, Boomerang allows you to pull things back out of your from their inbox back into yours, and it also will remind you, so you can also schedule emails to go to a particular client at a particular time. So if you're working at right now 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and then on tomorrow or Friday morning at 10 a.m. you want to send an email to so-and-so to ping them about this contract or paperwork that's due at 12. Rather than having to set an alarm on your phone to remind you to go do that, you can do a Boomerang email where you just type up your email, use the Boomerang feature. Once it's installed, you'll see this little icon, and that allows you to time what time you want to send that email to somebody on the next day, or if you need to continuously send an email to them as a reminder, weekly, monthly, or whatever that frequency is. And another extension that I really like is called Todoist. This is one that I use as you're going through and trying to figure out the different tasks that you have. It helps you to keep up with all of your business to-do items for the day, and also plan out your week. It helps you to just stay on track, stay on task. And again, it's a free extension. And all you do is literally, you can go in, go on the website for any of these Chromes, or if your Chrome extensions, they all have links to the developer site so that you can find out more information about them. If you like it, you literally just click add to Chrome. It'll ask you, do you want to add this extension? You say yes, and it's that simple. It's already added in. So once you go into trying to create an email or what have you, where you're wanting to share maybe that to-do list with someone else and tell them like, hey, these are the things that you need to get done, or these are the things that we're working on for you. If you're a service-based company, you now have a system that's already plugged into your Gmail account that you don't have to go and download something. You don't have to go pay for a productivity software. It's already at your fingertips. Well, we have just a couple more minutes before my time is up, you guys. So if you have some questions, please.
We do have a few questions, Demetria.
Okay.
We have Mary Adams asked if Canva was free.
Canva is free, but there's also, like all softwares, there's always a premium monthly fee for more features.
Okay. We also have a couple of questions. One was, are there some security measures for email?
For emailing? Yes. You can, on the email side of things, let me go in to pull up. Give me a second. Let me filter through my email before I show it to you guys. One of the biggest things that I'm trying to cipher, because I don't want to have y'all see all of our information on the inside. Give me just a second. One of the biggest things that I would tell you is to change your passwords frequently on your Gmail, but the Kaspersky, and I'm going to show y'all that because I don't think we went through that one. Kaspersky is one that you can look up and purchase. There's a free version of it too, but these are softwares that you would implement onto your computer to help protect your emails and the things that you're sending to people and opening from people that are sending things to you, to make sure that it's not spam or not just spam, but those Trojan horses or things like that that people are sending, trying to steal your data and information. But also changing passwords frequently, I would say every 3 months, is also a big thing that you would want to do. And that's no cost to you, to just make sure that you're keeping your email account secure.
Great. We have a couple of other questions. One is, can Boomerang be used for businesses? And,
yes.
Okay.
And
Great.
It's actually preferred on the business side. It's a better feature to help you schedule out and pull back emails and kind of push people to say, hey, reminder. And you can see if they touched the email too, so if they opened it.
Okay, great. Is DropBox, is OneDrive similar to Dropbox?
Correct. Yes, but that's through Microsoft. And so that's a different entity. And then there's also Google Drive. So they're all document sharing platforms. It just depends on what you're mainly using and how much money you want to spend on those kind of things. So if you have Microsoft and you have an account through them and it's a paid business account, I would definitely use OneDrive. I have it on my desktop right now.
Okay, great. We have another one that question that asked, this person is a new author and she has a web page under her name. She wants to know, how does she sell other items as well? How does she sell other items as well? However, the name on the receipt is different from her name. Is that okay for LLC purposes?
Yeah, you could establish a DBA for that different name, or you could make a new company in its entirety. If you wanted to include that on your website, you would need to have a web platform that allows for an e-commerce type store on your site, and then on the the back end of the e-commerce store, you can then create how the invoicing happens once you use a payment processor.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
No, I'm sorry. Can finish. I didn't mean to cut you
Oh,
off.
I was just gonna say really fast for payment processors. Cardfellow, I think, is a huge resource that you guys want to use. It is completely free. The way that they get paid is they get commission from the different card processing entities. And in this case, if you're looking online, you may see a lot of different charts that says this or this particular software, Square or Cash App or whatever. The more, it really depends on what your business is, what it's selling, the volume of those sales, and then how much each one of those sales are going to cost. That's what's going to dictate which one is the best particular service for you. So if you go here and do a free little quote, it's going to tell you based on your particular business what the best credit card processing company is for you.
Right. We have a. Okay, we've answered the two that are left in the question box. We will follow up once this is done with some of the slides that have the links to a lot of the programs that Demetria spoke about.
Yep. And I'll just flash that up here before we turn off. Here's my contact information. So you can email me, and our office line is 225-304-4422.
Perfect. Thank you, Demetria. We appreciate you discussing this topic with us.
Thank you, Stacy, for having me.
You're welcome.